Hello everyone, my name is Adnan Abid. I'm a postdoc at ICTP. I would like to thank all my collaborators for their contribution. You can see from the title I will be discussing about the ENSO teleconnection during the Boyer winter where there could be some other basins is playing a kind of a mediator role, and here we am talking about the Indian Ocean role. So what does this mean? This means that when we do a kind of ENSO teleconnection to look at the response of the atmospheric circulation onto the ENSO, we do a kind of seasonal mean thing. But it is important to look at how the ENSO teleconnections are working during that season. So this means that we need to understand what is happening on the inter-season characteristic of the ENSO teleconnection. Either they are establishing through a direct response, or there could be some other basins which are playing a role. So this is what we are trying to look in this work. And this hypothesis has been looked for the two regions mainly. One is coming to over the North Atlantic European region, and also tested for the Central Southwest Asian region. So I took a Nino 3.4 index and then correlated with the for the early winter as well as for the late winter, and I correlated with the global precipitation anomalies, where the dipole appears in the Indian Ocean, namely as the tropical western and eastern Indian Ocean, and this dipole weakens as we move on with the season. So this means that the ENSO connection with the Indian Ocean weaken, and this might have an important implication for the ENSO teleconnection from early winter to the late winter, so which is being discussed in this study as we move on to the next slide. So now I looked at the atmospheric circulation response to the two basins separately, one coming from the Nino 3.4 region, another from the Indian Ocean, and you can see that in the early winter both shows the positive annual-like signature over the North Atlantic region in the early winter, and in late winter the negative annual-like response appears to the both forcing, but it is more dominant into the Nino 3.4 forcing compared to the Indian Ocean forcing. So at this moment we do not know which basin dominates from early to late winter. So to look at this case, we need to look at the next slide. Now I removed the Indian Ocean from the ENSO and ENSO from the Indian Ocean, and I looked the response of these two separate forcing in the next slide. Now with the pure Indian Ocean forcing, the positive annual response there, while with the pure ENSO it almost weakens. So this shows that the early winter positive annual response is mainly driven from the Indian Ocean forcings. While as we move on to the late winter part, the pure ENSO response is still there for the negative annual-like response over the Atlantic sector, while with the Indian Ocean, there is nothing like the negative annual response appears in the Indian Ocean forcings in the late winter. So this shows that the late winter is mainly dominated from the ENSO teleconnection, direct ENSO teleconnection, while the early winter, the Indian Ocean is playing a kind of a mediator role between the ENSO and the North Atlantic region. Another important thing to talk here is about the subtropical South Asian jet, which appears with the pure Indian Ocean while it disappears with the pure ENSO response. So this means that it is mainly being driven from the Indian Ocean in the early part, while there is not much difference to say for the late winter. Extended the analysis to the seasonal forecast data set coming from the from the ECMWF, and I found that the model is quite well in capturing the early winter annual response to the late winter annual response from both the basins, and while in early winter the Indian Ocean is a bit weaker compared to what we noted in the observation compared to that of ENSO. And also we looked at the CMF5 model, and where we noted that the models has a large spread in getting the NEO connections during the early winter, while the late winter the spread is bit low, and this early winter is less, while in the large spread in early winter is mainly being contributed because the ENSO connection with the Indian Ocean has some limitation for the models. So here also we noted that if we look at the Central Southwest Asian region, which is mainly being driven, the climate of this region is mainly driven by the subtropical South Asian jet, as we noted in the previous slide. So any variability on sub-seasonal scale will affect the local climate over the region. So as we can see that if we remove the Indian Ocean from the ENSO teleconnection, it becomes insignificant. This shows that the ENSO teleconnections to the local climate over the central South Ocean is mediated through the Indian Ocean. So that's an important message here also. So, and the main message here is that we may not mix some forcings on the sub-seasonal scale to seasonal scale, and when we do a kind of looking at the seasonal mean thing, looking at the uncertainty connection. So we need to understand the sub-seasonal characteristic of this uncertainty connection, which is important. So the summary presented here is based on all these three recent published articles, and I will be happy to discuss further during the poster session. Thank you very much.